Yes. So in this topic, we are going to talk about time value of money. So time value of money is one of the most principal concept of financial management. And being a financial student, you should know about this concept. So what is the meaning of this concept? This the meaning is self-explanatory. If you go by the words, you can understand the meaning. It means the time value of money. That means the value of money depends upon time. Money that is receivable today is more valuable than the money receivable sometime in the future. Let's take an example. Let's take an example. If there's a relative of you and the relative tells you that he'll give you 5,000 rupees today, or he says that he'll give you 5,000 rupees after 5 years, which is more valuable. But the money you will receive today is more valuable. Why? Because you can get the money today and you can go for some investments for 5 years. You can double the value of money, or you can buy something that you really need now. Okay. Also, inflation. Do you know what is inflation? Inflation means that the prices of goods keeps on increasing on a constant basis. So inflation will also lead to the increment in price of a commodity. Okay. So time value of money means that the value of money depends upon time. For example, if this is all, you guys are all student and I borrow 10,000 rupees from everyone for 2 months. So I have 50,000 students with me. Okay. So for this 50,000 rupees, what I'll do is I promise you that I'll pay some interest and I'll give you the amount money back. Okay. But I declined paying the interest and it has been 2 years now. I'm still not repaying you money. So what will you do? You'll find me somewhere and you'll say, sir, please, you have to repay the money and you also have to pay the interest. Then I'll say, why interest? Why do I have to pay the interest? I can just pay you the principal amount and be done with it. Then you'll be like, no, no, sir, you have to pay the interest because for these 2 years, we could not make anything for that money, right? The value has changed now. Okay, why are you asking for interest? Like for example, for 50,000, 5,000 rupees interest, you'll ask, sir, we need 55,000 rupees now. Why? Because if you would have received the money at that time, you could have invested somewhere and you could have earned some return, right? Okay, so this was the meaning of opportunity lost due to because you give the money to me. All right. Now if we take one more example, if we take one more perspective, and if we talk from the point of view of inflation, then we'll see that today is the market. If you have 10,000 rupees today and you go to mangoes and you go to market to buy mangoes, and let's say the price of mango is 100 rupees, right? So you can buy 10 kgs of mango. 100 kg, yeah, in that case the price is 10 rupees. Okay, this is not 100, this is 10. So the price is 10 rupees. So in that case you can buy, no, you have 10,000 rupees. No, sorry, it's correct. Price is 100 kg and you can buy 100 kgs of mango. Okay, but after 2 years the price would not be the same. Okay, now let's say the price of mango is 150 kg. So now you can only buy 66.67 kg of mangoes. Okay. Okay, so you as a person who has donated money will ask from some for some additional amount so that the value remains the same. You'll ask, sir, I don't know, just pay me enough interest so that I can buy the remaining quantity of mangoes today as well. Okay, I was able to purchase 100 kgs of mango before, I want to purchase the same quantity of mango. So you just pay me 33.33 kgs worth of mangoes. That would be my interest. That would be my interest, and that would enable me to buy the same quantities of mangoes that I was able to purchase 2 years ago. This is the concept of time value of money. Okay? So to conclude, it says that the money that is received today is more valuable than the money that will be receivable sometime in the future. Okay, reason, there are various reasons. First is inflation, by price of everything is keeps on increasing. That is why if we consume the commodity today, that will be more beneficial. Second, delay the consumption. We don't want to delay the consumption. Okay, we don't know what is going to happen in the future. So these are some reasons for which we talk about. Okay, ठीक है. To revise financial management means to manage the money. That means inflow and outflow of money. So now, if we talk more about it, then there are basically three decisions that are taken by the financial management. First is investing. First is investing. Okay, in investing decision, capital building decision, and working capital management. That means short-term investment or long-term investment. For long-term investment, capital investing. Short-term investment, working capital. Okay, this is covered in unit 4, and this is covered in unit 5. In financing decision, there are two type of decisions or two basic considerations that we'll talk about. First is cost of capital, and the second one is capital structure and leverage. Okay, so this tries to answer the basic question, that is where will you get the money from? Sources, what are the sources that are available, and what is the percentage that will retain, or what is the percentage that will raise from each source of finance. Okay, that will be determined by using cost of capital, and we'll talk about cost of capital. Lowest cost will be selected, and we'll try to raise maximum funds from the lowest cost of capital. Okay, for example, if the there are three sources of funds. Okay, first is 12,000 and the rate is 12%. Okay, this is equity, rate is 15%, and preference rate is 13%. And if we decide that what is the amount that we'll raise, if I raise equal amount from each of these funds, then the amount that I have to pay extra, or the cost that is involved in all these funds, is 12,000, 15,000, and 13,000. Which is the cheapest? Equity is the cheapest. So we'll try to raise maximum funds through equity. Okay, but there's also the consideration of risk. Okay, for example, if there is too much equity, sorry, the cheapest one is debt, so we'll try to raise most of the funds through debt. Also, you have to keep in mind that it's not just the cost that is taken into consideration, but we also take into account the risk that is attached with the fund, right? For example, if a company that has too much debt, that means the risk increases, because they have to earn that much amount of profit to pay the interest. If sometime due to any reason they're not able to earn sufficient amount of profits, then they'll be in a difficult spot. Okay, so the sequence is like this: loan, preference, and equity. So final decision, we take into account cost of capital, and on the basis of cost of capital, we decide the capital structure of the organization. Okay, this is going to be covered under unit 2 and 3. Okay, and unit first is your introduction to financial accounting. Dividend decision, we don't talk about dividend decision in BBA, that will talk about in MBA. So in dividend, I hope you all know it by now. What is the percentage of profit that shall be distributed as dividend, and what percentage should be retained as retaining? This decision has two aspects, or two things that takes into account. First is company wants to retain the maximum amount that is possible, because there is any investment opportunity or there is any advantageous situation in the market, then they can, or they should be able to take the advantage of that situation, and that is why company wants to retain the maximum amount that is possible. Okay, secondly, the company also has to pay the maximum amount to the to the shareholders, so that they are happy with the company, they are satisfied with the company. Okay, so this is the current term, and being a finance manager, we take into account that everybody is happy. We also have sufficient funds, and the equity also is satisfied. Okay, okay. So if you have some doubt about what is cost still, then see, if you taken a loan and you have to repay the loan, then you will pay principal as well as interest. So this amount of interest, this amount of dividend that you have to pay, this is the cost, this is the extra amount that you're paying. So by using this loan, you have to earn minimum this amount. This is the minimum amount you have to earn. Ki bhai, at least I'll make the interest that I have to pay to the bank. And if then there is something extra, that is great. That is for me. That is my income. Okay. So 50,000 repay 51,000. This is my interest and amount repaid, principal and interest. Okay. Investment decision, long term and short term. Long term means more than 1 year. That means investment in fixed asset, plant and machinery, building, etc. And short term investment means for less than 1 year. That is current asset. Okay, so investment decision can be classified into two types: capital budgeting and working capital. Okay, example, business, mobile phone, and everything. Okay, so if we talk about this example, in this table I've taken into account, for example, there is a business and we are doing the business of mobile phones. Okay, and for the business of mobile phones we need 5 lakh rupees to start the business. Okay, so there are three cases, A, B, C. In these three cases, A has invested 3 lakhs in plant, 2 lakhs in raw material, and he does not have any amount of cash for day-to-day expense. Mr. B, he has purchased 2 lakhs plant, he has invested 1 lakh rupees in raw material, and he keeps 2 lakh rupees with him in hand for day-to-day expenses, for meeting, for making the payment of salary to the employees, to for the payment of rent, electricity bill, and all those things. On the other hand, Mr. C, he does not make any investment. He keeps everything in his cash at all, in his hand at all times. So which of the three is the better? B is better. Okay, B is better. So investing long term is purchase of fixed asset and short term is investment in current asset. Okay. To give you a quick revision, capital is invested in fixed capital. So fixed capital is used to purchase fixed asset, and short term capital or working capital is used to investment current asset. Capital budgeting, addition, this is all capital budgeting covered in unit 4, and short term working capital management covered in unit 5. Okay, so why is long term decision so important? Because they involve huge amount of money. Okay, if you purchase a plant, if you purchase a land, then it involves a huge amount of money, and it is irreversible in nature. If you purchase a house, then you do everything, you search, you research, and you try to find out the best possible thing for that house. Okay, because it is irreversible. Once you purchase it, you are stuck with it. So it is very very important, very very crucial for the business, and that is why we pay so much attention to it. On the other hand, what is working capital? Working capital is the amount of cash that we keep with us for a day-to-day expense on a daily basis. To meet our day-to-day expenses, we keep this amount with us. Okay, and the formula for net working capital is current asset minus current liabilities. What are current asset? Current asset, stock, debtor, etc., and all other things like cash, prepaid expenses, all those things is current asset. All assets which are either already in cash, or they are purchased to acquire, or they are purchased to convert them into cash within 1 year. That is called working capital. Moving on, time value of money is a concept that I will teach before starting with unit 4. Okay. Okay. Now I'll talk more about financial decision. Like for financial decision is the first decision, right? Where will you get the money from? Okay, where will you get the money from? So the first decision that we talk about is financial decision. Okay, then we'll talk about investment decision. We have raised the money. Now we'll talk about investing the money. So how will we invest the money? What are the best sources of investment of money? What are the techniques of evaluation of investment opportunities that we are going to take into account before investing the money? All right. So the first decision always is financial decision. So there are two things that we consider. First is cost of capital, that what are the various sources that are available, and what are the various sources and what is the cost of those sources. Okay, then we'll compare the risk of the source with the cost of the source, and then we are going to select the best investment or the best financial source, and we'll raise the money from those sources only. So first is what is cost of capital, but there are two sources. Basically there are two sources: equity and debt. Equity and debt. Debt means loan. That means loan or debentures. Loan can be from bank as well. And what are debentures? Debentures are the securities issued by the company, that exactly like loan. That means they don't get any extra amount, they just get interest and they're done with. On the other hand, equity means internal sources. अंतिम जी, आ सकते हो, बोल सकते हो, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. बंद तो कर दो गेट things. Okay, so cost of capital, two sources: equity and debt. Equity means equity share, preference share, and return earning, retain earning. This is the internal source of finance, and raising money from loan or debt is an external source of finance. ठीक है. For example, Mr. N, he raised 1 lakh rupees as loan. Interest rate is 10%. So what will be the rate of profit that Nandini has to earn? Like, what is the minimum amount Nandini has to earn? If Nandini has raised 1 lakh rupees and she has to pay 10% as interest, so 10,000 she has to earn. Otherwise, she'll pay the amount out of her own pocket. Nobody wants to pay the amount out of her own pocket. Therefore, cost of capital is also cost the minimum rate of return that you have to earn. The minimum rate that you have to earn, okay, to make sure that you are sufficient for it. Okay, so if Nandini cost is 10%, if Nandini is making a profit of 11%, then net she is getting 1%. If it is equal, she is not making any income. And if it is 9 and 10%, that means she is earning 9% and she has to pay 10% interest. So this is called 14%. Okay, so we can also say that cost of capital is the minimum amount that the business has to earn. Okay, that is the, it is also called the minimum rate of return. Okay, but if you have gotten money from somewhere and you have to pay something, this is like, the basic amount that you have to pay to someone, that becomes your evaluation rate. That becomes the minimum rate that you have to earn. You will always try to earn more than that rate. Okay, so cost of capital is also called the minimum rate of return. Okay. Okay, so the first thing is, if Nandini has 1 lakh rupees and we all have contributed, 37 people we have contributed for Nandini, and we have arranged the fund for Nandini, then she will repay some profit to us, and that profit would be called the cost for that funds. Okay, so the minimum required rate of return or cost of capital, same thing. Now the first aspect or the first source that we'll talk about is cost of debt or KD. Cost of debt. Now, what is debt? Debt is raising funds from other sources, from outside sources. That is cost of debt. Okay. So bank loan, debentures, these are the cost of debts. Okay. For example, let's take an example. This is a student web of, okay, on the right hand side, and on the left hand side we have PNB, that is the bank. So if Webov had invested, Webov made an FD with the bank for 1 lakh rupees for 1 year. Okay, and bank will have to pay 5,000 as interest, assuming the rate of 5%. If Weber has invested in an FD with PNB, so PNB would have to repay the amount to Weber after 1 year. That is 1 lakh rupees plus the interest. So for PNB, this 5,000 is the cost. 5,000 is the cost. So whatever PNB is doing with this 1 lakh rupees, they have to make sure that they earn at least 5,000 that they have to pay to Mr. Weber. Okay. What is the cost of the bank? The cost of the bank is 5,000. Okay. For example, if this is me, this is BJ, this is me, and I've raised money from all of you. Okay, for let's say 5 lakh rupees I've raised from all these people, the public. So after some time or after 2 years, I'll have to repay the money. Okay, so I have the liability to repay the money. So what I'll do with this 5 lakh rupees for 2 years, I'll try to earn more than what they expect, more than the interest that I have to pay. I'll try to earn more than that. Okay, and interest is an expense for the business. Okay, so it is charged, it is shown in the profit and loss account. This is a profit and loss account. So in profit and loss accounts, we show to interest, to salary, to rent, to electricity, etc., etc. Everything is shown in the profit and loss statement. And this is cost, okay, or the lagat. Okay, so what I mean is, if you have borrowed 1 lakh rupees and you have invested somewhere, then you have to at least earn 5,000 rupees out of the profit, that you have to pay this amount out of the profit. So if your profit is 20,000, then you have to pay 5,000 as interest out of this profit that you have made on this 1 lakh rupees, and the remaining profit would be 15,000 only. Okay, so what is cost? Again, quick revision. Cost is whatever you earn out of profit, or you have to pay out of profit, or you have to pay extra than the amount of principal. So if your principal is 100 rupees, then the amount you're paying extra, that is 105. 105. You're paying, so this 5 rupees that you have to pay out of your profit, out that is the extra amount you're paying. This is the cost. I hope it is clear to everyone. Again, I'll take the example. If Mr. Webov has invested 1 lakh rupees in PNB as fixed deposit for 1 year, then PNB will have to pay him 1 lakh plus some amount of interest. So, what is the cost of this 1 lakh rupees for the bank? 5,000 rupees that they have to pay extra. And what is the rate? Rate is 5%. So, how do we calculate this rate? Interest upon principal into 100. This is the rate. Interest upon principal into 100. So, 5,000 upon 1 lakh into 100. So this is the basic formula, and this formula we are going to use to calculate the cost of capital for all, uh, for everything, for all the sources that are available. We'll use this formula to calculate the cost of capital. Okay, so if I talk about this formula a little more, it means that what is the cost you have to pay and what is the money you got to enjoy. If we are talking from the perspective of PNB, then they got 5,000 rupees and they got 1 lakh rupees, and to use this 1 lakh rupees, they have to pay 5,000 as extra. Okay, the cost. The formula becomes cost upon capital into 100. Cost upon net proceeds into 100. What is the net amount I got to enjoy? Okay, so formula for KD becomes interest upon principal into 100. So KD for the bank is 5%. Now there is a I hope this is clear to everyone. Now there is a small modification. Web for doing FD, bank has hired some agent, that is Samiksha, and bank asks Samiksha that Samiksha, please go and get me clients like Webov, okay, who can invest in my bank as FD. So Samiksha is going to charge some commission. Let's say the commission of Samiksha is 1%. So whatever amount of FD she gets, 1% she keeps as commission. Okay. So in this case, Webov has invested 1 lakh rupees in the bank. Okay, but bank got to use only 99,000 rupees. 1,000 rupees they pay to Samiksha. So the cost will increase, but they got to use only 99,000 rupees, and still they have to pay the interest. By Weber is going to ask interest on this 1 lakh rupees only, right? He'll say, sir, I have invested 1 lakh rupees. I don't care if you pay interest, if you pay commission, whatever you pay. That is your business. I won't accept interest on 99,000. I will charge interest on whole 1 lakh rupees. Okay, so the bank would get to enjoy only 99,000 rupees. So the formula would become KD is equal to interest upon net amount received, or it would be 5,000 upon 99,000 into 100, that is 5.05%. Okay, so when the company wants to issue debentures, they pay some commission, they pay some brokerage charges and everything. That is deducted, and we take net proceeds into consideration. So, for example, if the company issues 6% debentures for rupees 5 lakh, okay, so the company will not get 5 lakh rupees. Company will pay some commission, etc. So, company will only receive 4 lakh 50,000 rupees. Okay, but the person who is investing, he is going to ask for interest for the whole amount on the face value. So, KD would become 30,000 upon 450,000 into 100. Okay, it would be 6.67%. Okay, so what is the cost? Cost is the amount that you're paying. What is the amount of money you are getting in hand to use for the above cost? That is net proceeds. That is net proceeds. Okay. If I talk more about cost of debt, first I'll give you a quick revision. So, what is cost of debt? Cost of debt is, debt means loan, bank loan, debenture, etc., etc. What is cost? Cost means lagat. Whatever extra amount that you have to pay out of your own profit, that is called cost. So, paying something out of your own profit, you have to ensure that you are earning some profit. Only then you can pay out of your profit, right? Okay, so we're talking about interest over here. This is the out of pocket cost. So cost of debt is cost upon capital realized or net received. What is the net amount you receive to enjoy? The formula becomes cost upon पैसा जितना मिला हमें. Okay. So for example, if Vaibhav has invested in PNB for FD of 1 lakh rupees for 1 year, then after 1 year, bank will pay Vaibhav 1 lakh rupees plus they'll also pay some interest cost. So the percentage is 5%. Same modification is first modification is that instead of taking capital, we take net proceeds. Okay, so face value minus brokerage and all those other expenses. So that is commission, brokerage, middleman, anything underwriting commission. What is underwriting commission? By if company is issuing some shares in the market, but the demand is not too much, the company is not sure whether they would be able to issue all the shares or not. So they hire someone. They hire Mr. A, and Mr. A assures the company that sir, don't worry about it. I ensure, I guarantee you that all your share will be sold, and if they're not sold, then I'll purchase them. This is called underwriting. This is called underwriting. So debt issue at discount. Example, X Limited issues 1,008% debenture of rupees 100 each at a discount of 10%. Calculate KD. So in case of all the discount, this means that the net proceed is going to get reduced. It would be 10%. So instead of 100 rupees, we'll receive 90 only. So the net amount received is 90,000. So formula would become KD is equal to cost that you have to pay, but the cost is always paid on the face value. Cost is always paid on the face value or the nominal amount, that is 100 rupees. So 100 ka 8%, 8 into 1000, 8,000, 8,000 upon 90,000 into 100, that is 8.88%. Okay, and if you're issuing at premium, if you're issuing it at premium, then also in that case also the amount would be 120. Okay, but interest would not be paid on 120. Interest would still be paid on 100 rupees. Interest is always calculated on the face value, irrespective of discount or premium. All right. Now we are going to talk about the second modification we're going to talk about second modification in cost of debt, and that is interest or taxation. See, before starting, I'll just give you a brief preview of what we're going to talk about. So if you you all know that interest is an expense and it is shown in the P&L account, and after paying interest we'll pay tax because interest is an expense. All right. So for example, if we take example of X Limited and the debt is debenture is 1,000 debenture of rupees 50 each, interest is 8% and tax rate is 50%. Okay. If in the year 2021 the company makes a profit of 50,000, which is called EBIT, EBIT means earning before interest and tax, then this is how the EBIT statement is going to look like. Okay, this is EBIT, earning before interest and tax. This is 50,000. First, I'll pay interest. Why am I paying interest? Because interest is an expense, right? 4,000 rupees I paid interest. This is my profit before tax is 46,000. Now I'll pay taxation, which is 50%. This is given the question over here. If you look closely, taxation 50%. Okay, taxation 50%. So I'll pay 50%. Then what I'll get is PAT, that is profit after tax. This is profit after tax. Okay. Now from this profit after tax, this profit is the earning for the shareholders, both the shareholders. First, I'll pay preference dividend, and then whatever amount is remaining, this is the amount that is available for equity shareholders. Okay. Now dividend decision, the amount that is remaining 30,000. Then what out of this 30,000, what amount should be retained and what should be distributed as dividend? This decision is called dividend decision. Okay, we all know about this. So when we prepare trading in P&L account, okay, we charge all expenses, salary, rent, etc., etc. But we also charge interest. But dividend is shown after calculating the net profit under profit and loss appropriation account or surplus account, is it as it is known these days. So I'm taking an example. I'm taking an example of two companies, and I'm trying to represent the effect of interest or effect interest on taxation. So there are two companies. First company, company A and company B. Okay. company A has equity of 2 lakh rupees, they don't have any debt, zero. That means they are not paying any interest. On the other hand, in case of company B, the equity is 1 lakh and debt is also 1 lakh. So they have equal equity and debt. On the other hand, company A has no debt, it is working 100% on equity, interest rate is 20%. So if the EBIT is 550,000 for both the companies, why 50,000? But we are assuming that the company is both the companies have invested 2 lakh rupees, so they are going to earn same amount of return. Okay, it doesn't matter where they got the money from, they'll earn same. So for company A, EBIT is 50,000. For company B, EBIT is 50,000. Now less interest. What is interest? Interest amount is what you pay on the debt. So in company A, interest is zero because there is no debt, and in company B, interest is 20,000. Okay, so my profit before tax is 50,000 and 30,000. I'll pay tax. Tax rate is same, 50% of the profit, net profit. So it is 25,000 and 10,000. If you look closely, and this is my profit after tax or earning available for shareholders, equity and preference both. If you look closely, company A is paying more tax. Company B is paying less tax, 10,000 rupees. A difference is there. Okay, where did this difference come from? This difference came from interest. Everything is the same, right? Only interest is different. Company A is not paying any interest, and company B is paying huge amount of interest. Okay, so and you it is clearly visible that company A is paying more in tax, and company B is paying less tax. Okay, and the amount of difference is 10,000. Okay, so if you employ, what is conclusion? If you use debt, then your tax burden would reduce. Your tax burden would reduce. Reduce by how much? If the interest is 20,000 and tax saving, with this tax that you are paying less is called tax saving. If the interest you have paid is 20,000 and tax saving is 10,000, then the net cost or the net amount that you actually are paying is only 10,000, right? Net cost is only 10,000. So the formula becomes KD is equal to interest into 1 minus T upon net proceed. What is 1 minus T? Interest that you're paying, but there is also some saving of tax. So interest into 1 minus T. So for example, if the tax it is 40%, this would become interest is, I'll take one more example. EBIT is 50-50. Interest is not paying any interest. Here we are interest paying is 20,000. Profit before tax is 50 and 30. Tax is 40%. So this would be 40% of profit before tax. 50 into 40%. 20,000. 3 into 4, 12,000. So it is clearly visible that you are paying 8,000 rupees less. 8,000 rupees less. Okay. So total cost is not 20,000. It is only 12,000 because 8,000 you saved in taxation. Right. So it KD's net cost upon money received. So 12,000 upon money received. But this 12,000 you're not paying completely, but you are getting some tax benefit, right? So what is the tax benefit? If the rate of tax is 40%, then interest into 1 minus C, that is interest into 1 minus 0.4, that is 0.6. So 12,000 is your net cost. 12,000 is your net cost. So the formula becomes KD is equal to interest into 1 minus T upon net proceeds. Okay. So I hope it is clear to everyone. If there is any problem, if there is any confusion, then you can definitely ask me. Okay, no problems in that. Okay, is it clear to everyone? Right. So I'll take an example. X Limited issued 1,000 12% debentures of rupees 100 each at 100 rupees issued at par. Tax rate 40%. Calculate KD. KD is interest into 1 minus T upon net proceed. What is net proceed? It is 100%. But it's not given what is brokerage. Nothing is given in the question. So we're going to assume that it is 100. What is the interest you have to pay? By face value of one debenture is 100 rupees. Interest rate is 12%. And number of debenture is 1,000. So it would be 12,000. This is the interest that we have to pay. Net proceed is 1 lakh. Okay. So we'll put the information in the formula. 12,000 into 1 minus tax rate is 40% given to in the question. So our KD becomes 7.2%. This is my KD. Okay. Now debentures can also be of two types: redeemable and irredeemable debentures. What are redeemable debentures? Redeemable debentures are those debentures which they have a life attached with them. Like for example, this debenture will be valid only for 5 years. By validity, I mean after 5 years, company will repay the debentures. Okay. So what is the transaction at the time of issuing of debenture? If I am the company and you are the debenture holder, you will give me the money and I'll give you a debenture. I'll give you a receipt of debenture. After 5 years, you'll come to me and you'll give the receipt to me and I'll repay the amount to you. And I'll repay the amount to you. Okay. So this is redeemable debenture, a debenture that has a specific life of let's say 5 years. And after 5 years, we will redeem the debenture. And irredeemable debentures are those debentures which are not redeemed. They are never repaid until and unless on the liquidation or winding up of the company. Okay. Irredeemable debentures, they no redemption, perpetual. Okay. Okay. So the cost or the formula we are talking about, KD is equal to interest into 1 minus T upon net proceeds. This is for irredeemable debentures. There is no repayment, right? So there is no extra cost. This is the only cost. Now, if we talk about cost for redeemable debentures, I like to focus on this example and then I'll explain with the help of an example. Okay, formula still remains the same. Everything is the same. Just keep in mind the formula is total cost upon net proceed. This is the formula. Total cost, right? So let's go to the question. If X Limited issued 500 debentures of 10%, no, 500 debentures of 10% debentures, face value is 100 at the rate 95. We have issued at 95. That means we have issued at discount. Redeemable after 10 years at the rate 110. Are you getting that? You have issued at 95, but after 10 years, when you have to repay the amount, you will repay the complete amount, that is 110. Tax it is 40%. Calculate KD. Calculate KD. Okay, so formula still remains the same. Total cost upon net profit. So what is the total cost? Now in this case, there are two costs that are involved. First is the amount of interest that you have to pay, and the other amount is this 15 rupees that you have to pay out of your own pocket. By at the time of issuing the debentures, you got 95, and at the time of redemption, you have to pay 110. That means 15 rupees you have to pay out of your own pocket. Okay, net proceeds remain the same. So question is 500 debentures, interest 10%, fair value is 100, issue price 95, and redeemable price is 110. 110. Time 10 years and is 40. So what is cost? Cost is, there are two costs that are involved. First is 10%, that is 50 rupees plus 15 rupees. Okay, but this 15 rupees you have to pay one time after the end of 10 years. Okay, after 10 of after the what do you say, after 10 years. So we'll divide this 15 rupees over the course of 10 years. Why are we dividing by? Because this rate, this interest that you'll be talking about, interest you have to pay annually. So this interest rate 10% is annually. So we'll also divide the other cost over here, the cost of repayment or the cost of raising debentures, by number of years, so that we get what is the cost per annum. So the formula becomes interest into 1 minus T plus redeemable value minus issue price. That means 110 minus 95. That is 15 upon n. That is 10 years. So 1.5 is my cost for 1 year each year. Upon what is the average amount that we received. By here the amount is changing. So we'll take into account what is the average amount that I received. By what I issued, what am I repaying? What is the average amount? Okay. So it would be interest, that is 10 rupees, redeemable value minus issue price upon n, that is 15 upon that is 1.5. So my average cost per year is not 10, it is 11.5. It is 11.5. Okay, it is 11.5. Okay, so the formula becomes 110 minus 95 upon n and upon 110 plus 95 upon 2. Okay, clear to everyone? So this is how I'm going to put the information in the formula, and my rate would be 7.32%. I hope this is clear to everyone.